What is a college or university? Is it a route for us to explore our interests and topics we enjoy? Is it a way to move out from our parents' house, become independent and party? Or is it simply a path our friends and family push us to follow without us defining the reason? See, like many people my age, I had no idea. A lot of us know that we aim to make an impact and add value. Ultimately, we all hope to be useful and leave the world a better place than we found it. But defining how we do that and deciding on the route to follow is difficult. It's tough for anybody of any age, never mind high school students that are told to choose a route before graduating. In this scenario, we are often given definitive paths and told to choose one. For example, in recent times, the City of Chicago has stated that public schools cannot allow students to graduate without choosing one of 5 defined routes. These options include college or university, an apprenticeship, or a 12-month gap year tenure. At various points in our lives, we are often presented with a scenario similar to this. One where defined routes are given with little possibility of an alternative. Is it possible there are routes outside of what we're told to choose? So, when faced with this decision myself, I didn't have faith in the defined options I was presented, so I graduated high school with no plan. That's right, I had none. Well, when asked, I gave the answer gap year. But what I really meant is that I hadn't figured it out yet. Like I mentioned, all I knew, and still know now, is I want to add value and saw there being other new avenues compared to the ones established presently. I believed, and still do, that there are infinite ways to learn. Another factor for me was financial. I didn't see the benefit of taking on debt, which you'll pay once you're deemed successful enough, which is usually defined by your financial earnings. It just didn't make sense to me. What I didn't realize at the time is that my progress happened when simply saying, I don't know. Rather than disguising my plan as a gap year, it allowed me to discover different directions and routes and really internalize what is important to me. Why it's important is subsequently learning how to get there. So, a few months after graduating, I decided I wanted to begin and put a plan together. It led me to an idea I hadn't expected, that a company called Tesla could, in a weird way, become my university. After a lot of thought, I decided I knew 2 things. I knew 1, I was not going to university, quite obvious at this point, and 2, I thought Elon Musk was making the real world tangible impact I wanted to someday. For those of you that haven't heard of Elon, he's the founder of Zip2, X.com, PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, The Boring Company, Neuralink, and many other hugely impactful organizations. They add extreme value to the planet and accelerate key missions, such as making life multiplanetary. My master plan was born. I would join Tesla, become Elon Musk's personal project manager, and learn from somebody creating a real-world, tangible impact. And when we get to the best bud status, pitch Elon my startup, and Bob's your uncle, I'm changing the world. I know what you're thinking. Genius, right? The plan got off to a slow start. I was rejected many times online, but after a little bit of luck and persistence, I joined Tesla. Fast forward 2 years, 30+ emails sent to Elon and his team, many changes of responsibility, location, and even country. I'd met friends and mentors throughout in many different teams and initiatives, and worked on some amazing projects. Like I mentioned before, Tesla had become my university, quite in a weird way. Not through an apprenticeship or internship, but purely by finding a way in, putting myself forward, and pushing to learn as much as possible. I was exposed to nearly every aspect of the company and have come away with so many valuable lessons. But my master plan actually failed, pretty drastically. Within 2 years, I'd left Tesla. That's right, I'd failed in my mission to become Elon Musk's project manager. Although I was able to pitch my startup to his team, that failed too. My master plan to make an impact wasn't successful, and I certainly knew about it. As I came to this realization, of how much I was able to grow, I actually became a little uneasy. I believed and do still wholeheartedly in the mission, but actually found something I was really passionate about by accident. I'd come across the issues associated with recycling when talking to a colleague, and quickly fell in love with how much change was needed in the sector. Above all else, along the way, I was exposed to the concept of changing recycling, which I so deeply aligned myself with and allowed me to fundamentally find my idea, my why. Now more than ever, we can learn anything from anywhere. I say this within reason. Obviously, you can't become a doctor without the correct qualification to become a doctor. We live in the age of Generation Z, an age of internet, free online courses, emails, and social media. Even though I haven't been able to work directly with Elon yet, I have listened to every single interview or video directly or indirectly relating to him. I've learned a huge amount just from this. We live in an age where that is possible, where, if you have a desired mentor, you can simply load up YouTube, type in their name, and dive into their world. Never before have we as a species had this opportunity. So, we now approach an era where the concept of education is blown wide open. We now have the opportunity to evaluate our most suitable avenue, not necessarily just those initially presented to us. For my example, the typical education path wasn't for me. Who knows if it will be in the future? I would encourage you to think not only what are the options I've been presented, but ask the question, what do I really want? You see, I found a passion whilst in the pursuit of another. I believed everything would happen exactly the way I planned, that I would become Elon's project manager and ascend to best bud status instantly. Even though I failed and did not achieve everything I wanted to right away, I arguably found something just as valuable. The lessons and experience that helped me find something I am passionate about. And one day, I will work with Elon. I'm simply on another path to get there. If I would have followed the typically defined route of university or college, maybe that would never have happened. I'm confident that I now find myself in a place to begin to work towards my goals. Along with that, the belief that anything is possible. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, do not go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. Think about it. Let's use a theoretical guy named Joe. 200 years ago, Joe was expected to become a milkman or blacksmith because there was such high demand for the service. 50 years ago, Joe could explore becoming a switchboard operator or an accountant as the social scope expanded. Now, Joe can attend the University of YouTube and become a Bitcoin day trader simply because he has access to free educational content and a Coinbase account. The simple point? Now more than ever, we have the freedom and opportunity to follow our ideas and concepts. The barriers to do this are at their lowest point in history. The social expectation that Joe, at 35 years old, should have accumulated a certain amount of money or power is becoming less and less applicable. Many of the world's leaders have suggested that every individual's timeline represents exactly that it's individual to them. In my story so far, the one catalyst was doing something, anything. I encourage you to begin to understand things you want to try and pursue them. You'll quickly learn if it's what you truly want. And, in addition, there's the popular theory, 6 degrees of separation. This theory, created by Fridges in 1929, suggests you are always fewer than 6 connections away from anyone on the planet. Therefore, you're always only a chain of friend-to-friend introductions away from quite possibly connecting with your desired person, anyone. Using this theory, your time or efforts can never be truly wasted. By simply starting the pursuit of your desired goals or outcomes could quite possibly lead you to places or people you would never have imagined. We sometimes feel socially pressured to choose a path, most commonly defined as university, which can be a greatly beneficial path if you've consciously decided that for you it can lead to your goal. And if you don't have a goal, maybe there are other avenues to pursue to find one. Is it possible that by enrolling in university, because it's the best of a few options we're presented with, becomes negative, maybe we should change the question from what of these 5 options do you choose to what do you really want? And if you don't know, being okay with that and having the confidence to take the time to find an interest and pursue it. By trying new and exciting things, you'll start taking one step closer to finding out. So, the next time you're asked the question, what is your plan? I hope you can hold your head up high and give the biggest, most audacious and impactful plan, however you define impact, you can possibly imagine. By chasing it, who knows where you'll end up. Thank you.